Hello everyone, this is Gayle, and I'm back with another polymer clay tutorial. Today I am going to show you, I had a request, but I'm going to show you how to do a crackling effect on polymer clay. And I'll convert that into a pendant also. So first off, let me show you. You're going to need, and I always use black clay, but I don't know if you can tell, this is a little bit shinier than normal because there was some perfect pearls mixed in with this that I had trimmed off of another project. But this is all going to get covered up, so I didn't care that it was in there as long as it's a good color, because the crackling will come through, but we'll see how that looks. But let me tell you a little bit about leaf. There are imitation leaf products, and then there are genuine metal leaf products. I tend to stick with Mona Lisa just because they are this is their business. You know, they are in the metal leaf business. They're the ones where I got the metallic powders. Remember I was telling you about these platinum metallic powder, and they don't make this anymore. Sorry, I wish they did because it was awesome. But that was a metallic leaf powder. But they also make these metallic leaf sheets, and this one is the silver leaf, and I'm going to use this one because I just like silver, but I want to show you how it comes. It comes in this little booklet, and if you peel through the booklet, there's the silver leaf inside, like right there. But sometimes I only use a part of a page, and I save it because it's not cheap, it's not real expensive. But see, there's little pieces that I've saved, so when I only need a small amount, I can do that. And when it's got all of your tips and tricks and everything in here, but they use silver leafing in a different way than we do. But I'm going to leave this one out because that's the one I'm going to use. But they also have gold leaf, and it says authentic metal leaf technique. So I'm assuming that this is a metal leaf, even though it says technique. I never noticed that before. But anyway, they have the gold leaf. Then they have variegated leaf. This is variegated green leaf that gives a really good effect on some things. They have a red leaf. Actually, I've got two red leaves. And then this one is a different maker. This is Artful Minds. I got it on clearance somewhere. Might have been Hobby Lobby. But anyway, that's a green variegated also, so I bought that. And it even comes shredded. This is just little itty bitty pieces of, I think it's got copper and silver and gold, and I don't know what all is in there. Wonder if it tells me on here. I don't think it does. But to show you, I got this at Pearl Crafts, which is in Orlando, Florida, if it tells you how long I've had this. But sometimes you want a variegated look with different colors. But doing the crackle, I think it's better to do a solid color. So let me put these back in my drawer because, you know, I don't have much workspace, so I don't want to take it up here. So I have rolled out some black clay on the thickest setting of my pasta machine. Now, you have to start at the thickest setting or it'll be very difficult to get your crackling effect. And I'm going to take out a piece of the silver leaf and lay it on top. And I'm going to go ahead and take a whole sheet just to show you how I do it. And I'm going to put it on the whole thing. So what I do, see how flimsy it is? Don't sneeze when you got this out. But I just lay it on top, rub it with my hands, and then it will, just with a brush, you can brush it off. I'm going to pull it so I can save these pieces because those are pretty big pieces. And I just put it back in very carefully, back in here. And then put it back. I might have to fold that because it will break if I don't. Put it back in the sheet, in the little booklet. See that fly around? There will be more. And then put it back in the plastic thing that it came in. That's the safest thing to do. Now normally what I would do, and I say normally, I still am going to do it, but I'm going to come across here and just make sure that the leaf is adhered to the clay, and brushing it like this is going to take these little pieces off. But what I do is, see there's some areas down here where there's no leaf and there's some over there. I just take whatever comes off and try to put it on those areas. And then brush off what doesn't stick, because if it doesn't stick, it wasn't on clay. So I filled in that little area. And I don't have a lot to come over here, but that's probably going to be trimmed off anyway, but I'll just... And the rest of it is going to probably be on everything, because it just flies like crazy. So here we've got oh, there's a piece that fell in my drawer. Let me put that on somewhere. Let me put that here. But now we've got this pretty sheet of silver on clay. And this is, like I said, on the widest setting of the pasta machine. So what we need to do, I'm going to run it through still on the widest setting just to see if adding this little layer of foil makes a difference in the thickness, but I don't think it will. Just a second. No, see, that did nothing. It's still solid silver. So I'm going to move it down, and you want to just move it down one setting, because when it starts to crackle, you're going to want it to crackle in different directions, and if you roll it too thin at first, then you're not going to get the effect. So let me do it again. Now, I don't know if you can see, but we're beginning to get a little bit of separation in there. Not very much. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn it a quarter of a turn. I'm going to turn my pasta machine down one notch, and I'm going to go through again. Now you can probably see a little bit more crackling beginning to start. I don't know if the light's too bright for you to see it or not. Anyway, so then again, I'm going to turn it a quarter of a turn. I'm going to move it down one more notch. So now I'm on the number 4 setting. And run it through again. Okay, can you see that beginning to crackle? So what am I going to do? I'm going to turn it a quarter of a turn. I'm going to turn this down another notch to a number 5. This is going to make it very thin, but you're going to use it as a veneer. Now, can you see? Maybe if I just lay it down here. And come in closer. There, see how it's crackling? I don't want to go too thin, but I'm going to turn it one more time. And although I don't think it's going to fit through my pasta machine this way, I might have to trim off this ragged end over here. to get it to fit through the pasta machine. So I've turned it a quarter of a turn. I'm going to go down to a number 6, and this will be the last time. Now we've got a nice crackle here. And again, I'll come in so you can see it closer up. See that? Oops, too close. There it goes. See the nice crackle? So now I have this veneer. What am I going to do with it? First off, I'm going to come all the way back out. I'm going to put this on a plastic sheet. And if you guys saw my Friday Frolics video, and for those that didn't, I now have my own personal Amazon page. I was approached by Amazon to be part of their influencer program, and I'm glad they considered me an influencer. And I can have my own, like a storefront on Amazon. It looks like a regular Amazon page, but you'll see my picture on the top. And on my page, I can add any items that I want to my page for people to, to buy. So, every time I do a video now, like now I've added the silver and gold leaf. I didn't add all the others, but I did add the silver and gold. But anytime you watch one of my videos and you want to know where did you get that tool or where did you get this or whatever, you don't have to ask anymore. You can just go to my Amazon page and there it will be. If it's on Amazon. If not, I'll have to tell you otherwise. But there's something under this. Maybe it was just air. But I'm just really excited about that. And I will earn, I'll tell you up front, I will earn a very small commission, but it's a commission, so every little bit helps. So now what I need to do, and I should have done this before, is I need to condition some more black clay for the bottom of the base of my pendant. And I did put these 8-ounce blocks of Primo in there because I use black, white, and translucent a lot, so I usually get these larger packs. And that should be plenty of clay for what I want to do. And I just slice off of it. It just kind of sits here because I'm always using black. And to keep you from having to hear my pasta machine, I'm going to fast forward through it. Back, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to double, this is rolled to the number 1 setting and it's conditioned now, and I'm going to double it so that I have 2 thicknesses. And I'm also going to put it on my little, do you remember my little heart that I have for texture? See the texture in that heart? I'm going to lay this on it so that as I'm working on it, it'll be picking up that texture. And it shouldn't stick either. So now we've got a double thickness of black clay, and this is Primo. And another thing, if you could, I tell you, I've got more stuff than you would ever imagine. This is my box of templates. And some I made myself. This is a set template for an ATC. So, and then I have some checkbook covers, or I may have sold those, but this is the template for the checkbook covers. This is for my watch or bracelet, so that you can measure here to see how big a bracelet you need. There's a 7-inch bracelet. I don't remember that was. It kind of looks like a seashell, but I don't remember making any seashell. There's a 3-inch circle. This is a bracelet template. I like this shape for a cuff bracelet. And maybe that's what I should have done instead of this, but I'll do a cuff bracelet. The next one I do will be a cuff bracelet. And I made a card holder. That's the card holder bottom. So you can make your own templates. I'm not sure what this was for. But, you know, they're all in here. I've just got all kinds. Oh, this is a journal cover. So I've made my own, but you can also buy some templates. And these, I don't even know if they still make them. If you see, these are called shapelets, made by Sculpey. I'll have to look to see if they still make them. But they have all different shape, all sizes. Let me show you over the black so you can see. That's like a long, what do they call that? I would just call it a long oval, but that's not what it is. And they have hearts. They have the long hearts. This one I haven't punched out because it's a weird shape. It's got a little point up here, and I don't know what I would make with that little point. But this is one of my favorite shapes that I use for a pendant. And then there's the teardrop. But I'm going to find one. Let's see. This is the regular heart. I kind of like this one. This is a rounded square, but I'm not really into squares. This is another one of those long ovals, but this one hasn't been punched out, which means I probably had 2 sets. That's a fan. And then these are the things that punch out of them, and you can use those to cut around also. There's another heart. This is one of those lopsided hearts. So you don't have to have a cutter to come up with your shape. And there's one that I had decided I wanted to use. I probably laid it up here. Nope. I'll find it. Look at this heart. It's not punched out, but look at that one. It's sort of a short and wide. But there's all different shapes. And every time I get a new shape, I put it in this box. Now that's kind of pretty, but that's not the one I was going to use. I pulled it out. Well, it is the same one. This is the one I was going to use. So I do have 2 sets of these. But I just keep them in one of these little photo boxes. Whenever Michael's has them on sale, sometimes they'll have them for $1 a piece. I just get a bunch of them. I've got 2 shelves in my closet that are these things sitting like this. That, see, I've marked it templates here with my label maker. So this is the shape I think I'm going to use. But before I do that, I'm going to put something on here. So I need to make sure that I have a straight line. And that looks pretty straight. And I'm just going to cut a piece. Let's see. I'm just going to cut a piece about like this. And so you have the rest of this sheet that you can use for other projects. I'm just going to use this. See how much I've got left? And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drape this across this way. on top of my black clay and just burnish it to make sure it's all in contact. Feel a little roughness right there. I'm not, well, it's gone now. It must have been something on the clay. And then I need something else to fill in the rest of it. See, and then later I can just move this template around however I want to use it. You could do it that way, or just that way. But I need something, and I've got several different options here. If you want to look, let me see if I can lift this all up together, or if I have to, happens to be sitting on one of the big bags. But I've got all these different options. This is I was trying to make a project that didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. So twisted and twisted and twisted the cane and then cut it open, and that's what I've got. And so that's kind of interesting. I've got this piece, which is the end of the same, well, not the same, but one of the cephalad or the static canes. This is the end of one, and I kind of like that. I like the colors that are in it. I've got this, which is a retro cane that is using different colors of pinks and whites and a little bit of black. But I don't know how that would look with silver. See, whatever I use has got to look good with silver. And I've got my black and white cane that's left over from when I made this. So I might use one of the, as a matter of fact, I might use both. Let's see how this goes. That's a flower. I don't want a flower. Now I need, if I can slice this, and I probably need to use my Lucy slicer, but I've got too much stuff sitting on top of it. So I don't know how thin I can slice this. If I can even this out at the bottom where I messed up with the cutting, I really like this side. But I could put that, well, I have to roll it out. Excuse me for a minute while I roll this in my pasta machine and see if I can spread it out a little bit. Well, it made it kind of interesting. But I need a straight edge. So if I do that and put this up next to the silver leaf, now let me use my template to see how I'm going to like that. And it's not really going, well, that fits like that, but I don't know if I like the half and half look. So let me do something different. Okay, that didn't do what I wanted it to do, so I sliced it off. And I just wasn't happy with that. So let me try my black and white. And this is the end of one of the canes that I made way back when I first started doing videos, the black and white retro cane. And I really really like it. So I'm going to make a few slices of this. And I doubt that this is straight, so I'm going to just, that's one slice I have to sacrifice. And make these kind of thin because your silver leaf is thin. I just couldn't get the other one thin enough. And that way, because the silver leaf is just, tissue paper thin. And that other one, because I didn't have enough to set it up to slice, I couldn't get thin slices. So let me see what I can do with this one. And I'll come down a little bit. And try lining these up. I don't want that in there, but this one's not straight. So let me do this. Let me just trim this off just a smidgen so it's got a straight edge. And butt that up against here. And I'll come out a little bit so I can make a bigger cut here. And just place them. And it's okay that you've got the black line in between. That's the outside of the cane. I could cut that off, which would probably be the smartest thing to do. That looks like a good place. And I'll trim the black edge off of this. Probably only needed to do one side. And when you see me flipping it, I don't want the slices next to each other that are like a mirror image. Let's see. See if I can pull this a little bit to change the shape so it will fit in here. There we go. Now this isn't finished yet, but I want to look and see here it is. See how this is going to look on my template. I think that will look okay. I might just press this in a little bit just so I can kind of see where I want to put my template. I don't know if that'll mark or not. I know I can see it on here, but don't see it too well there. But that's okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut off this little strip here, a little extra bit of black. And I'm going to roll that out. I may as well stick it in the pasta machine, but I'm going to roll it out into a thin strip. And this is on a number 6. Better put that on patty paper because if it sticks to my work surface, I'll never get it up. And I'm going to cut a little thin strip. Maybe about that wide. I'm going to lay that across here where the two meet, so we don't have to worry about that line. Now let's see how that looks. See if I can see my lines. I believe it came this way. Yeah. Alright, I think that's going to be pretty good. Now with the template, you want to cut, you could use the corner of your blade, but I don't think it would be a very good cut. But you just trace around. Keeping your blade up against the template. This back piece is so soft I can't tell where the clay ends and that starts. I've never cut on one of these before. It's not quite as easy. Okay. See, where did it not cut through? Right here. And you can take your template off and bring this out. And there is the shape of your pendant. And of course you can go around and clean this off. But what I would do, let me get all my scraps off of here before it starts sticking to my clay. What I would do is to do another thin strip. See if there's any more black on here that I can cut off. You can see I am about as frugal as they come. I don't like to waste anything. I don't like to use more clay if I don't need to. And all these little bits of clay will be that much more I don't have to take out of a out of my pack. Let me put this on the patty paper. The patty paper is on my Amazon page. And I may just soften these edges a little bit. If you wanted to, you could roll this all the way down to cover up the edge, because you really don't want this to show, the two different colors. You don't want that to show. That doesn't make a pretty, if it was all black like this it would be fine, but you really don't want that to show. But first off, I'm going to put another patty paper on top, and I'm going to burnish. This will also help to round these edges just a little, not all the way down. I just don't want it real flat. flat is not where it's at. Oh, you know what I thought of? Well, no, I won't do that. Sorry. I'm thinking again. But I really like that shape. So let me run this through the pasta machine at a little bit thicker, maybe a number 3 setting. And make another strip. There's some more black. Now, I was thinking maybe I could use the silver leaf around the edge, but I don't think that would look very good. I'll tell you what I can do. Y'all are going to think I am the cheapest person in the world. But I can trim this leaf off of this piece that we cut off, because this is a double layer of clay. And don't worry, my blade's not sharp. This blade I've been using for months and months, so it's not sharp at all. And I'll add this to my ball of black clay. And I think, like I said, I'm going to roll this out at a number 3. Get that little piece of silver out. And make a strip, so I'm going to press it into a flat rectangle. It's another piece of silver. I didn't get it all, did I? Hopefully it won't show. Sort of a flat rectangle, because I want it to be long and skinny. And you see how the back picked up the texture from this, so it's not just shiny black. I am going to put this back on here. You can also extrude a flat piece. If you have an extruder, you can use that. And I don't think I have my long ruler. I think it's in the other room, but try to get a straight edge. And I'm not the best at cutting straight edges from scratch. And then it looks like it's about that thick. And I didn't put this back down straight. And then starting at a corner, and since this is going to be I think this has to be a pin rather than a pendant. Depends on how you want to hang it. So I'll just start at this corner and just lay this even with the top, so that if you have to do any trimming, you would do it at the bottom. And just wrap it around. I didn't put this all the way at the end, so I'm going to have to wrap it just a little bit. Trim this off even so it doesn't overlap, because you don't want a double layer of clay. And then when on this edge, if you just take your finger and rub it across, it will heal that seam so that you don't see it. And there you go. You just put a pin back on it. Let me press it on here though first. And you know, again, you can just kind of press those edges to make sure that the black doesn't stick up. Now on the back, and I should have done this, where is my, here are my pin backs. I've got more of these little containers full of things. And let me see if that one's probably going to be too long. Maybe not. I'll use that one. First you have to decide where you want the top to be, and I'm going to put this a little lopsided. Well, maybe not. It kind of looks better. Just to me, it looks better that way. I could do it slightly this way. And that does make it too big. I just happen to have a smaller size. And let me put these little things away. These slipped out while I had it open a little while ago, and there's a couple more right there. So let's see, I want it to pin this way. So I'm going to open it up and make sure the little clasp part of it is on the left. And find where you want this to sit. Kind of press it in. Not too far, just enough to hold it. Actually, I might put a little bit of liquid clay in there just to make sure it sticks. Now that I've got an impression, I know where I can put a little bit. And my Kato poly clay is on the liquid clay is on my Amazon page. If any of you see something that I use and I haven't put it on my page, if you go there and it's just not there, please don't hesitate to ask me to add it. I'll be happy to. So that way, if you are ordering something and you want several items, they will all ship together because you can get them all at the same time. Now I'm just cutting a little square. And I'm going to put this little square. Actually, it's probably not wide enough. I'm going to just roll it just a little bit to make it a little bit wider. But if you're going to be giving this as a gift or making, you know, selling it, you want it to look nice. So I always cover up the inside here. And if you want, you can take your texture tool and press your texture in there. This would also be a good place to put, if you want to put your name on it, if you have a little stamp or something with your name on it, this would be a good place for it. I happen to have a butterfly stamp that I use. This is a metal leather tool. So I'll just stamp the little butterfly there. And I will bake this on a piece of index card face down because of the pin. I won't fasten that, but I will lap that over. But there you go. This will be the pin after it's baked. It won't look any different. You may want to put a little bit of something over the top. Another thing, while we're talking about this, where I put the black strip here, another fun thing to do is to put 2 polymer clay designs on here and use a little strip of the silver Crackle as this piece to separate it. That always makes it nice. But this is one way to do Crackle with silver leaf. And there's other ways that you can give a Crackle effect by doing like a lace cane and just keep cutting and reducing and cutting and reducing. And I'll show you that on another day. But this is how you make a Crackle effect with silver or with metal leaf. And then I turned it into a pendant, or a brooch, I guess you call it, a pin. I'm not into all these fancy names. So I hope you like this, and I'll be back again next Monday with another polymer clay video. Bye-bye.